All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new installment of Math with Kieno, the Math with Kieno series, and we're going to talk about graphing. The first thing we need to do is think about, what is a graph? A graph, when we graph something, we basically just take a plot or a bunch of points, and we see how the points are being formed. You can have a parabola, you can have a shape like that. There's my eraser. Sorry about that, guys. Your parabola could actually be inverted as well. Okay. You could have a line, and you could have a vertical line. You could have a horizontal line. You could have a slanted line. Okay, so you have a bunch of lines. So we take a function or equation, and we can just make up our lines. Now, the first thing we need to be familiarized with is the coordinate system. We have one axis, which is the x-axis, and it normally or generally runs like this, side by side. So that would be your x-axis. And then you have a vertical axis, which is your y-axis. Okay, so this is always the x-axis, and this is always the y-axis. Or let me just put a y there. The y-axis runs vertical, the x-axis runs horizontal. And actually we have something that we call quadrants. This is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Okay, so quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Okay, and we have our main axis, and one axis is just an axis like this. You would spell it like this, axis. All right, but when we're talking about plural, more than one axis, then we would say two axes. We actually pronounce axes, not axes. Don't go to your math teacher and be like, oh, I've got two axes. No, it's axes. Okay, so you're either dealing with an axis, singular, or axes, plural, and these are 4 quadrants. Now, a couple things we need to be mindful of. Before we even start plotting our points, we need to know what something looks like. Sometimes they'll ask you, is the slope of a line positive? Well, just think of this as like a staircase. If the line is going upward like this, okay, if the line looks like this, that is a positive slope. Just think of it as looking at a staircase. And if the staircase is going up, then that is a positive slope. And I'm sorry about my artwork. I know it's a little beat up, but we'll press on here. So the staircase is going upwards. This is a positive slope. Conversely, gotta use my big words. Conversely, if the slope goes from, say, like quadrant 2 to quadrant 4 like this, then what's the staircase doing? It's going down. You're going downstairs. Okay, so always think of it as going from this side, going that direction. If the stairs are going this way, we're going downstairs. If it was going that way, it'd be upstairs. So this is a negative slope. The slope we had previously was a positive slope. Okay, and so until I get more focused questions, I'm just going to do some general stuff because there's a couple ways that we plot things. I like to make stuff simple. I like things to be very, very simple. Okay, so there's 2 ways we could get a function or an equation to graph. There's 2 ways we can get a function, and I just want to go into before we plot our points. Okay, wherever we draw a point or we're plotting, okay, we have an x coordinate and a y coordinate. So this comes back to our x-axis and our y-axis. All right. Okay. Now, a couple things. These arrows indicate that that line just goes on forever and ever and ever for infinity. and it goes in this direction for infinity. It never stops. And the same way up and down. Now, this is the x-axis, as we stated before, and this will be the y-axis. Okay. The center point here, where the x-axis and the y-axis converge or intersect, is called the origin. The origin meaning beginning. Okay. So this is the origin right here, and it's at coordinates 0, 0. Now, when we look at the coordinates, we have what we call an x value and a y value. So x being the first, so this is saying, okay, this is 0 point, right? So we're not going positive in a positive direction or negative direction. And another thing we have to do is we have to look at the x-axis and the y-axis as two number lines. Remember our number line back in the day? And I'll take out the bottom of this coordinates, but remember our number line back in the day when we used to say, okay, we said 0, here's our number line, all right, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all these two rays or lines are doing, okay, but the only thing is we got a negative side too, so we got -1, -2. Gotta see how much I'm getting this on the camera. -3. Okay, so there's negative symbol. So just like your x-axis, this is nothing more than a number line. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to infinity. And let's give you the infinity symbol. That means it just keeps on going. That's the infinity symbol. And I'll spell it out. Infinity, I-N-F-I-N-I-T-Y. Infinity. Forever and ever and ever. It just keeps going, and the numbers keep going up and up and up. So we have a positive direction on our x-axis and a negative direction on our x-axis is nothing more than a number line. Another thing I like to point out is our y-axis. We have a positive and a negative direction. Up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. Okay, just checking our time. Okay, so we have positive numbers, negative numbers. We assign a minus symbol next to them because when you don't see anything, you just assume that it's positive. Okay, so we talked about positive, negative slopes. We talked about our origin, and the coordinates for the origin are 0. And we write it like this, comma, 0, because we're talking about what is the x coordinate and what's the y coordinate. So if the x coordinate is 0, means we didn't go left or right on the number line of the x-axis, and y is 0, we didn't go up or down on the y-axis. And remember, singular, one axis is an axis, is, plural, two axes, A-X-E-S. We talked about positive slopes. A positive slope goes up, a negative slope goes down. Okay, what else? You could actually plot a vertical or even horizontal slope. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop it right there, and this is just an introductory, and we're going to actually go into plotting next. So thanks for watching. More to come. If you have my email, just email me, but this particular intro was for Zaria in Houston. So shout out to you, Zaria. I hope this helps. Talk to you later. Bye.